Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, Karen. Hi, you guys. Saturday. Feeling all frisky. I'm finally back to my 1 week of time change. Back to normal. Yes. How are you all? It's going to be a good chat today. It's gonna be a good chat. There's Suzanne. I think I need to have music. Can I have music for my Zoom class maybe in the background? I think so. I think I won't get in trouble. I'll have to Google that one. How are you all? Okay. I think I'm gonna get started. There's enough of us on there. Maybe I'll wait like 5 seconds. It's another gorgeous day. You guys must think it's sunny here every day. It is here a lot. Unfortunately, we're in a little bit of a drought, so that's not good. It should be raining all the time in this month. So we need a lot of rain for the summertime. Okay, so here's what I have to do today. Here's what I have to do. Here's what I'm going to talk about in my live today. So there was a couple questions I want to answer and a couple demos. One of them was from Leslie, and we're going to talk about landscapes, just kind of composition and how I get started. I also want to talk about a little demo on if you guys have taken my Elephant or my Colorful Joy class, just one of the little dry brushing techniques, a little bit of how you get a little lighter paint in some darker areas. I want to do that. And then I had a question on some leaves, petaled like flowers, leaves. So I want to do a little demo on leaves. I want to talk about what's on my art easel. I want to talk about the supplies for the Zoom class that you don't need to go buy because I'm going to tell you all the substitutions. So with that, let's get started. I almost forgot my bouquet. And then I thought, it was like 10 minutes before I went on, I'm like, I don't have a bouquet. And then I said, oh yeah, I do have a bouquet. So here's what I want to show you. All right, they do not go together. This is not a bouquet. They're just two different things that happened. All right, so this is a beautiful plant. I think, okay, do I have this right, you guys? All my flower friends out there. Is it a pestimon? Maybe. All right, look how gorgeous this is. So this was the one perennial that was blooming like 2 weeks ago, just kind of came out of my winter garden. Okay, so wait to hear this. I loved watching this bloom and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then last week it was on the ground because you know why? A gopher came and ate it. Okay, so I have gopher baskets and everything came out of its hole into my area with the gopher basket, ate the bottom, took the roots, and left this on the ground like this. Oh yeah, I could be swearing right now. So I saved it, but isn't that beautiful? And then this was a gift from my, from Mark's stepmom, from my stepmom-in-law, and okay, it's dripping, but aren't these amazing? These are the orchids that there's a name for them, and these grow outside all year round. Well, they bloom this time of year, but you don't have to bring them. They're not indoor orchids. I just think they're so pretty. Now, my friend Renee would love these colors. They're right up her alley. Okay, so that's my bouquet. They don't go together, but that's okay. You guys don't mind. I just wanted to share those with you because, you know, they are both different, really interesting shapes. And if you just took one of the shapes, one of the blooms, and started to sketch it, you would have a beautiful start to your petals. All right, so let's talk about what I've been painting this week. I think some of you guys might have seen this one on my posts on my Instagram. I think I've got them on my Facebook too. I'm not 100%. All right, so this was a demo that I did last year. At some point, this was a demo last year. And it's just been kind of hanging up on my wall, and I haven't really done much with it. But I went to go see Frida Kahlo and in the De Young Museum that just opened up. And at the same time, there was a Picasso and a Calder exhibit. And it was Picasso, some of Picasso's work and Calder's work next to each other. So the mobiles, you know, those beautiful mobiles that you see, and then they just gently turn, and then you can see all of the beautiful shapes on the wall. So I was totally inspired. Well, I was super inspired by Frida Kahlo, and I've got lots of sketches I'm working on. But this one, I came home and I just took my ink, literally with the bottle stopper, and I just started drawing with the bottle stopper these shapes to really represent the mobile. Can you see? It's a little bit shiny. And I don't know why this one canvas has always been shiny. Couldn't tell you. There's nothing on it. So I then took my sponge, whoopsie. First whoopsie. I then took my sponge brush, and when you work with the inks, this is actually, you know what, it was with the bottle. Hold on, I have to find it. It was with the Golden, the little bottle of Golden that you can still use as a drawing tool, right? Just like the bottle with the inks. And it was the Fallow Turquoise. And then when you put that down, look how shiny. Does anybody know why it would be so shiny? The whole canvas is shiny. Anyway, here we are, over here. It looks like super dark. It looks almost black, like a Payne's gray, but that is why I love that color so much, is that you can put it down thick and it comes across as like a dark, dark gray, dark, dark blue. But then when you start to smooth it out, it becomes really translucent and you get that gorgeous blue. So I've been really having fun, and I was looking at it last night and I was thinking there's not much more to it that I need to do, and I think this one will be done. So that was kind of exciting. I'm gonna find you that ink I used, because I had it yesterday. It's somewhere. Okay, I can't find it right now, but oh, here it is. So with just these little bottles, it's harder to do this with the bigger bottles, but with just these little bottles, I was able to, could you imagine I make such a mess? When I was drawing, I was going right on the canvas like this to create those marks. So you just want to be careful that you're not squeezing the bottle too much, because it'll all go all over the place, but it's also another way to get some marks down. And okay, then this, I think we're done. Okay, this is called Beauty's Glance, and we think it's called Beauty's Glance. We're almost 100%, and I'm almost 100% finished. I'm leaving it up for this weekend to see if there's anything else I want to adjust, and then I'm going to be shipping it out on Monday, I believe. So this was the commission piece that I have been showing you guys each week, and I think I'm finished. The way I can tell if I'm finished is I hang it up and I leave it up, and I keep waiting to see, is there something else I want to change? Is there something else that I need to fix? Are the colors good? Is the balance good? Is the composition good? If I turn it upside down, is there something that is jarring? So for instance, I have these white roses here, and these are symbolic of 5 siblings, which is funny because I'm part of 5 siblings too. I'm the middle of 5. So there's 5 siblings here, but I also want to balance that. So I put a couple more down here. So this is a visual thing. Then I want to make sure I have enough darks and I have enough lights, that wherever I put some color here, I'm going to put it over here. And that's sort of how I kind of work on the paintings. I also worked on the sides. So the sides, if you guys have taken some of my classes, you know that, let's see, there we go. So a lot of times on my sides, I think they're just as important as the front, and I'm bringing over some of these designs so you can see those. Let me show you the tops. Isn't that fun? And then there is a poem that if you guys remember, let's see, did I show you guys in the very first, there's a post. You know what I'm going to do too is I'll probably put together a progression of all of the stages and I'll put a blog post together so you guys can see it. But there's a poem that's underneath this whole thing, and the poem was very special to for this commission. This is somebody who wants to honor their father, who unfortunately passed away from COVID last year. It was super sad, and she would really like a painting that when she sees it, it reminds her, this painting will remind her of her dad and all the special things about him. So there's a lot of hidden things in here, but one of them was a poem that was his favorite poem. And so that was underneath, but there were some parts of the poem that were so beautiful that I really wanted to pull out, because sometimes in my work, I will actually have some words that you can see. So one line was streams full of stars. And I just thought that was so beautiful. Just, you know, just the words, streams full of stars, just, I have a vision, and it's just, is so beautiful. And then the other one is down here, it's Beauty's Glance. And the whole poem, it's called Leisure. And I will, you know what, I'll try to link to that later so you guys can read the poem. But it's all about stopping your busy life, just stopping and taking a moment to enjoy what's present, what nature has to show you, what the leaves have to show you, what these beautiful flowers have to show you. It's just taking pause and letting all that busyness kind of fade away, and just really think about, even if it's 5 minutes, just stop where you are, look around, and just take in all the beauty. And anyway, so this, I think we're good. And there's some beautiful things in here to represent their connection and their relationship. And anyway, I'm super happy. I love this, and I'm gonna be sad to let this one go, but it's going to her forever home. And it was really an honor to work on that. Oh, and before we put our camera down on the table, I do want to talk to you guys about landscape. So I'm going to start up here, and then I'm going to flip us down here so you can see some other things. Okay, so this is a landscape, and it's hard to hold these up. So when I did a blog post about this, I think I posted it in this group. There's often times where I paint over paintings. I just paint them over. I get bored with them, or I find my style has changed, or you know, with practice you get better. You keep getting better at all of your work. And what I did was I found some paintings I didn't love anymore. So I don't throw anything away, and I just painted over them. And you guys have heard me talk about this a zillion times. I don't gesso over my paintings. I use what's in the painting as the underneath. And here is something that was underneath that painting. Was, you can't really see it. I did cover a lot of this up, but there's these circular things. Can you see? This was, I think, an abstract piece. And this is all very layered and detailed. And let's see if you can see it. This is a word. It says trust. A lot of times I have words and I cover them all up, or some of them up, or even some of the letters. Because if you would never know that word, what it said until I told you. And that's okay. I really liked just some of the lines. So when you're working with words and letters, sometimes it's just the shape of the lines that just represent something. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to read it. And this is Bixby Bridge. This is down in the Big Sur, which is one of the most beautiful places in the whole entire world. And I'm so fortunate that it's about an hour and a half from my house. But I went on a kind of Pacific Northwest painting binge, and I did Bixby Bridge, Capitola, I started Carmel, and Julia Pfeiffer Beach, and I think there was a couple others, and then I did some Santa Cruz ones. But Leslie had asked, how do I go about kind of getting some of my landscapes. So I'm going to show you what I start with in my journal. And then we're going to do a couple little demos. All right, so hold on tight. Don't go anywhere, you guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put this down. And, oh, I was so cold. Now I'm like, so hot because I got my heater on full blast. All right, hold on. Let's see if we're all good. And, okay, let me just check over here. This is why I can't wait for us to do our Zoom. I won't feel like I'm talking to myself completely. All right. I think I need those shades. Are we good? Yep. All right, first thing I want to show you before I work on that painting is these, whoa, I almost lost the tripod. This landscape. Whoa, you guys, this tripod's gonna fall. All right, I think we're good. I think we are good. All right, so I pulled this aside, and I have showed this before a long time ago, so it's a little refresh. So what I do is when I think about a landscape, I go to a place, and if I can't go to a place, then I research it with photography. And I like to use photography or the actual real vista as my reference. So with landscapes, I don't usually just wing it like I do with my flowers a lot, and certainly with abstracts. You know, that's just kind of you painting and just going with the flow that you're in. And a lot of that I do with my flowers. But for my landscapes, I really want to try to get it accurate if I can. And these were ones that I worked on. So this never happened. This is the Carmel one, and you guys could read about this in my blog. This was an idea I had for a painting, and I actually turned that into Capitola, which is over here. I was gonna do two separate ones, and I ended up doing this one instead. And then the Big Sur Bixby Bridge one that I just showed you. So I was down there, and there's this road right here, and there's a little vista, and I just stood right here. And I think I didn't bring this book with me. I probably brought my little, let me see if I can show you guys. Hold on, don't go. And it's not this one, but I just wanted to show you that, you know, invest in these little tiny sketchbooks that you can just take, who the heck knows? Well, that was another one. That you can just take where, you can stick this in a bag and take it anywhere, and even if you have a pencil, that's all you need. So when I go traveling, you know, maybe a day trip, I'll take this. When I go real traveling, I think I take a suitcase of art supplies. But anyway, so I did it in pencil when I was there, and then I brought it into this journal, and I did some pen and ink. And I started probably with pencil, and then I just added some pen to it. And it sort of is like doing these little tiny thumbnails, and then I go a little bit bigger. So once I have an idea of, okay, I think this would look good on a canvas, I want it to be a horizontal canvas, I put little notes here, like I've got the green cliffs and waves and surfing, and I mean the rocks and the surf, and then blue sky. And I get into like the groove of how I want the composition to look. And then what I do is I usually do all the kind of crazy background layers like I normally would in all my other paintings, like layered petals, colorful joy, whimsical elephant. I do tons of backgrounds first, and then I will start to chalk in this image. Not in too much detail, but enough detail that it gives me my composition. And hopefully, Leslie and my friends out there, that's kind of enough. I mean, at one point I will put together a landscape class, but that is like number probably 5. I have 4 more I'm working on right now, but I do want to do something like that. But I just want to say the main thing would be to get some photography for reference. If you can, go to the place, if you can, sketch with a little pencil just to rough in an idea, and then go to a little bigger piece, maybe some pen work, and kind of really start to really think about the composition. Then put it away, work on your backgrounds, and then bring it back, and then you can start to sketch it out with some chalk. I never start a canvas. I never take, let's say this was a canvas, pretend this is a canvas. I never put in my image first. I don't sit there with a canvas and draw it. That's just my style. I wait until there's a bunch of layers down, and then I put my image on with some chalk. Alrighty, okay, moving on. Now, here's my next, I'll probably screw this one up. I hope I don't. Please, 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 let's not screw this up. Okay, so this is a painting that has been hanging up, and there's an area in here that I'm not crazy about. I mean, I signed it and it was finished, but I actually looked at it last night. I was like, what painting could I demo that has some dark areas that I want to lighten up? So I thought, okay, I'm just going to use this, and we're going to demo on it. Okay. And so the question was, let's say you did a painting and you have a lot of dark areas in it. We're going to use this just as an example. And you've got a lot of dark areas in it, and you actually want to lighten those areas back up. So we're just going to go for it and see what happens. I'm going to bring us down a little bit lower. Just let's make sure I'm in this section right here. And we're going, this is a little bit lighter, but this is what I would do. I would get some, okay, I'm going to start from scratch again. I almost thought we were videoing. I'm like, scratch. That's what I do when I make my classes. I say scratch. So then I know when I go back to edit, I remove that. Okay, you guys, ignore me. All right. So what I do is I look around in my painting and I think, what is the color that I want to turn, what lighter color do I want to turn this into? And I would probably go with something that I've already done. So here's a blue right here, or I could go with the green, but I think I'm going to go with this blue. So put some blue on your palette, and let's move that over here. I have just, my palette is as simple as a piece of plastic sheet, and hold on, I'm gonna squish this over here. It's just a plastic sheet. I get on Amazon, like a whole roll of this, and then I just cut it up. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of blue down, and my white, okay? I always have my white handy dandy. Let's see if it doesn't squirt right out. Of course, I need to poke it with an X-Acto knife. Where is my X-Acto knife? Should have been prepared for that one. Okay. Now, don't try this at home, but I always have to pop it up a little bit. All right, so I got some white. And what other color do I want to add? Here's my own fluid inks that I made, but I also want to bring in a little bit of the dark blue. It may not be the exact kind, but I want to go from, I want to create this blue over here without it being, like, see how this just feels harsh? This green just feels harsh. I feel like I want to blend the blues together. So I take a brush. I've just got this little King Art regular flat brush, and I don't put it in water at all, but I'm going to just dump it. I'm just going to put it in this blue paint because this is the thicker paint. And I hardly have any on it, okay? I'm just gonna go around like this and smush it around in here. And the reason why I like to start with the paint and not the inks are more fluid, but I just put a little bit of my acrylic paint on a brush, not too much. And what I like to do to blend it into that dark color is slowly push it out as far as I can to the darker color. Does that even make sense? I hope so. I hope so. So this is a little bit of dry brushing here where I am, you know, I'm not going like this. And I don't, usually some of those brushes that I use, like I grabbed this brush because it wasn't in the best condition because I've used it so much, because you really are smushing it around. You know, you're just kind of mushing it around and there's hardly any paint on here. It's not a lot. And I would really recommend that you go really slow and not much. Don't put a ton of paint on there. If you want to have the effect where it's blending better, then you just want to have a little bit of that color. So this is a color that is sort of that medium blue. And let's say you wanted to go even lighter. So you've got your dark blue here, and now I've got my medium blue here in the middle, but I want to go even lighter and blend. Then I'll just bring a little bit of that white in. So I'm adding a tiny bit of that white, and I just want to go a little bit lighter. And if I want to really work on these corners, then I would probably get even a smaller brush. And then I would even use my fingers if you're okay with that. If you're not okay with that, you can put gloves on, or if you're not okay with that, you know, if you don't have gloves, not okay, but if you don't have gloves, you can even get your sponge brush going. And so adding a lighter color to a darker color, it's in baby steps and it's gradual. And I'm also doing it more on the translucent side than a thick side. So I've gotten rid of some of that, some of the pink came up, which I wanted it to kind of blend a little bit more. The green is not so harsh anymore. And if I really like, let's say you really hated that green, like you didn't like it, then you will just, you can go ahead and go over it again. Oh, you know what, Suzanne, I'm so glad you're on. I just wanted to tell you that this is the live, and then the recording of this live will always be in the replay, and then the Zoom class is totally different. That is next week, and I'm going to talk about that at the end, and that is a whole different fun thing we're going to do, and it will not be on Facebook. The Zoom will be on Zoom. Okay, so let's say you've brought in more lights. Okay, I'm probably gonna well, I might as well just add it right here too, just get my flower. But what I would recommend you do next is you let this dry, okay? You let it dry, and then what you can do is go over this lighter area now, lighter to dark, and bring in your little tiny details. Okay, gotta wait for that to dry though. And, or some of the underneath, like see those, they used to be green little circles. Well, maybe I'll just bring in a couple of those green little circles. And so that way the light dark is a layer that's underneath your painting. So the reason why I love painting in this style is because you can layer and layer and layer and go back and back and back. So maybe I want to go in here and clean up all of this mess. It might be too busy for me. So I would go in and do exactly what I just did in here with the brush and a little bit of paint. And then I would go back in and maybe pull out some of the marks I liked. Maybe I just want to have these marks. So I hope that clarifies. And you know, I would just recommend go small. Just do a little bit of brushing, a little bit of paint with a little brush. Make sure your brush is dry. You want to really scrub. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Scrub. And then you spread it out towards that darker area, so you're not harsh. Your color is not like boom, it's light blue, and boom, it's dark blue. It's a little bit of a trans, I can't even talk. You know what I'm talking about. And then go over it. And then go over it with lots of little tiny details, or just a few little details. And then the other question was on leaves. All right. So it's funny. I have this, and these are some leaves right here These are a little bit more defined than the layered petals was. This is more like Colorful Joy, but these are just leaf shapes. But I wanted to do some leaf demos. All right, so I was gonna do it on this, but this is from last week, but I think I like the way this looks, and I might cut this out and put it in the journal. So I think I'm gonna not mess with that quite yet. All right, so hold on, I'm gonna move this over here. Make sure we're on. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm just gonna pop this right in my journal page. And to do that, like if you guys were wanting to do something like that too, just use some Mod Podge or Yes Paste, or even staple it in. I've been doing that a lot lately. Like this is the one I did. We did this one a few weeks ago, and then I just glued it in here. So I'm gonna do that with this too. All right, but for now I'm gonna just do some leaf demo work. And these are my favorite brushes, the Angle Shader. And the reason why I love the Angle Shader is they really make beautiful ways to make different shapes. And I love, so I'm gonna do leaves in with a couple different paint options. We're going to use this blue again. This is, by the way, if anybody is interested, this is the Liquitex Brilliant Blue, which to me is the equivalent of a Nova Color paint. So for my friends over across the waters, that's a great option. All right, so what I do is, here's my paintbrush, and I'm gonna hold it up, and then I'm going to draw a line like that. And then I maybe go in and fix it up, and my leaf really becomes like this shape. We'll keep working on those. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So flat, and then to the point. Because when you work with these angle brushes, you can do so many different types of strokes. And when I do my leaves, you know, I'm not out to make a leaf like a perfect leaf. Like I'm not trying to do, you know, well, that is not a perfect leaf, but you know what I mean? I'm not out to draw a perfect leaf. What I'm trying to do is just do something that represents a leaf. So maybe I'll, you know, have it like this, and then I go with some beautiful stem. And whoopsie, oh, that's number 2. I'm gonna stop counting. Okay, so that's one way to work on your leaves. And I pulled out this was the other journal. This one is more of a shape that's actually kind of like that, where you can use that same brush and you can go like this. But one of the things that I love to do is, once this is dry, then you can go in and put in some details. You could put in your line. You can't really do a lot of this stuff until it's dry. So that's the thing. You know, acrylics is not going to take long to dry, but hopefully this will dry before we're done, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a lot of options you can do with your leaves. And I know they're blue, and they don't really look like, let's see, was there any other leaves in here? I don't think so, but let's see. Like these ones here are just a little bit of a, you know, I'm using my brush like this on the edges, and then you can just go right in there. Everything is representational. It's not exact. I don't even have a leaf in front of me. Even my little bouquet this morning doesn't have any leaves. So hopefully that helps you. The other thing that I've been really doing a lot lately too is taking that same shape, and it almost is like grass and, you know, a fields. And it's been so much fun. It's very fun to do. You guys should try it. So if you guys have a angle brush, let's see if I can do the same thing with a flat brush. I'm sure I can. You don't need to go get fancy brushes. So this is a flat. I'm pressing down and then up. So pretend this was my flower. That's a beautiful flower. And then I wanted to do some leaf work. Well, then I would maybe go like this. And, you know, something like that. Could be a leaf. All right, so hopefully that helps. And then, you know, again, do little ones. You can do tiny little ones. And yeah, I do put quite a bit of paint on my brush. You know, it's not too, it's enough that when I turn it and move it, I still have paint going. It's not done and I have to keep going back and forth. I should have enough paint to get most of it done. And then I go back into my paint and add more. So let's get that to dry and then see if we can add a little bit more to it. All right, and then I want to talk to you guys about, okay, I'm going to put this aside, and hopefully that helped too. And I want to talk to you about the Zoom class. I'm so excited, you guys. It's going to be awesome. Okay, I don't think this one is the one. Oh no, here it is. I did so many demos. Okay. In our class that we're going to do together, I'm using watercolor. Oh, there, see, you guys, this is what I was doing last week. Isn't that fun? You could turn that into a whole field. Okay, but then we'll get back to this. I'm using watercolor paper. But you can use your journal. You can use these journals, the Ranger Downy, is it? I can't even think. Let's see. You guys know what I'm talking about. These journals are really thick. They have really thick mixed media paper, and that's the type of paper that you would need. So it could be any type of paper you want. There's Bristol board paper, and like this is a pad I got. I was actually looking for Fabriano paper and at my local art store, and they didn't have any, so I picked up this. It's watercolor paper, and what I like is, I'm not sure, I'm right there, is I like the hot press. All right, so look for it. It will say hot press or cold press, but again, don't go buy anything for our class because you probably have paper that you can use. And I'm just gonna be taking one of the sheets of big Fabriano paper that I had in some of my classes, and I'm just going to cut up an 8x10. So we're gonna be working, let's see if I'm centered. Yep, we're gonna be working this size, okay? And this is just a great size that I can be really zoomed in on my Zoom. I could be really close up. There's gonna be 2 cameras on me. So it will be one camera that's gonna be pointed down, and I'm gonna be doing all my demo and the whole entire art class on here. And then there'll be another camera where I can go back and forth and chat with you guys. So if you've ever taken a Zoom art class, you'll know what I'm talking about, but you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing on this size paper. And then what else? Okay, so that's the paper. So again, anything mixed media, anything watercolor. If it says watercolor, it's fine. And even if you have cold press, it's fine. And then Bristol board is another great option because it's nice and smooth. So you should be fine. And then what we're gonna do is do a little bit of ink work. Now here's the thing, you guys, you don't have to have even inks. If you don't have inks, then you could use watercolor. And if you don't have inks like this, you could use watercolor inks. It doesn't matter. And what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna work on putting down some little abstract forms of a meadow with the acrylics inks or watercolor inks, or even watercolors. If you have a set of watercolors at home, you could even use something like that. You don't have to go buy inks if you don't have them. Then the other thing I want to use is, as you guys know how much I'm crazy about Neo Color 2s. Okay, so I have Neo Color 2s that I'll be using because they're great to work with watercolor. With water, you don't want to get Neo 1s. You want to get Neo Color 2s. But, woo! You guys, this was holding up my tripod. Hold on. Let me put one of these big things. Okay, I put a big thing of paint on there. You guys probably went right through your ears. All right, so in here are the Woodies. So Woodies is a great option for Neos. So if you don't have Neo 2s and you happen to have a bunch of Woodies, these are 3-in-1s, they're great, 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 and they do the same exact thing. They're just a little bit thicker, but I'm going to be using both of these things with a paintbrush. So that's the other thing we need to have is just one paintbrush. That's all you need. One paintbrush, some Woodies. If you don't have Woodies and you don't have Neo colors, if you don't have either of those, again, you can use watercolor paints, just like a regular little set of watercolors. I haven't used these yet. I'm excited to do a demo on these with you guys at some point. But okay, then let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, and then a couple little other things for some details would be, I'm using a gel pen that's white, and you could use, you know, the regular old-fashioned gel pens. This one is a Signo ball that I love, love, love. You know, Uniball Signo. I think I said Signo ball. And then I also have been using a regular lead pencil in this kind of art style that I've been doing. And I'm going to turn us around and chat a little bit some more. Hold on, stay there. That always happens. Trust me, we'll be more professional on Zoom. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm taking it off. I'm so sorry. All right. I've lost my train of thought. Okay. So the Zoom class, a couple tips on it and a couple things I want to say, because I know a lot of you guys are doing it, is I'm going to send out the link the day before. Then I'm going to follow up in our creative community in this group right here to say, hey, I sent out the email, just to make sure you guys get it. I'm also going to leave my contact information, and then all you have to do is get a hold of me. I have an awesome moderator. Her name is Linda, and she's going to let everybody into the classroom. And the classroom is going to be, there's going to be 15 minutes early. You can get in there. It's all going to be in the email. I'm going to put everything in the email, so you don't even have to write any notes down or think about it. So in the email will be little tips on how to get onto your Zoom. It will be little tips on, you know, all of the things that you need to do, which is not much except just enjoy and have fun. You don't have to have your video on. You can turn it off and sit back and listen to me chat and watch my little art class. The whole point is I want us to have fun. That's the number one thing, is I want you to spend 2 hours plus to have fun in our community and have fun with, you know, just painting. It's a playtime. It's nothing too serious. I want to be able to finish the project before we leave. We're not going to be here all day. So I wanted to do a project. We're going to have breaks and chat, and I'm going to have giveaways. I'm so excited. You guys, I can't do anything without giveaways. It makes me so happy. So I've got some good ideas, and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be in the class, and I'll know that from the list of names. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. Let me just, I'm holding this. I'm holding this with my finger right on the camera. Giveaways, recording. Oh, there will be a recording available in case you have to go or you can't see it or what, and anything like that. And that is that. So you just have to, oh my gosh, Beth, is it? It's the first day of spring. Happy spring. Oh, doesn't that make you so happy? Except for our Australian friends, I think it's happy fall. So, but still, it's the most beautiful time. I'm so excited. And how you sign up for the Zoom class? Good question. So what I'm going to do is as soon as I'm done with this live, I'm going to put the link in our group. Okay. I'll put the link right up there. And all you have to do is sign up. It's 20 bucks. It's the price of a yoga class and more because it's a little longer than a yoga class, and it's going to be fun. And I'm so excited. You guys are sending some beautiful art. It's just awesome. And remember, it doesn't have to do anything to do with my classes. The art that you guys share in this group could be a class that you've taken from somebody else. And if you have, just mention the teacher's name because maybe somebody else might want to take it, or anything that you're doing. All right. Okay, I'm so excited. So next week, it's going to be 9 a.m. PT. So 1 hour earlier than you guys did this Zoom class, this live class. It'll be 1 hour earlier than that. Okay. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon. And then I'll really see you. I better get off because my kids are probably hungry. Okay. I'll see you later. Happy creating. Love you. Mwah.